Let's go. All right, guys, we're going to get straight into it here. So we are now doing, let's see here. It says 1.1. Let me adjust this so you guys can see for the last 7 days. So we're just going to click there. Okay, cool. We're going to update that. And cool. We're now doing 498 new follows a week. Losing a bit of people, but we don't want those people anyways. So this video is just to go over that, keep it really straightforward, really tactical for you guys. The first point on this is that, it took me at this point, we're 178 posts in on this specific account, which I think is really good for 46,000 followers if you can do the math and on what that ratio is per post. But it's been an interesting journey. I'll be honest. It was a really good end to 2025, 2026. The start of it was slow. The big mistake I made was just over indexing, I think, on organic content. I'll give you an actual visual of that right here. But as you can see here, I really went to like these like yapping videos. I know a lot of people have been very high on this, and there's a lot that it actually works for. I think it works for really big creators. The problem is if we go back to some of my previous videos here that used to just put up numbers, the biggest thing was the format was different. So it was green screen formats, and I think the thing that a lot of us get wrong. So here we go. Like this was back when things were just popping. Like this had like 300,000, 66,000. Let's keep going down. 24,000, 21, 10,000. And this was just like on a weekly basis, like 170, 13, 42. Like I just couldn't miss at one point, 31, 76, 25. So the big thing was I think I got into a place where I'm like, oh, okay, I got this like organic audience that's really growing. Uh, I need to mix in more organic. Like I need people to understand like who I am, really connect with me. And I think I definitely just over indexed on it. I don't think I know I did. I think the number one thing we all have to keep in mind when we are trying to create content on social media is that the number one thing you have to do is entertain, specifically on short form platforms. YouTube, this is an entirely different game. As you can see here, it's why I'm a huge believer in playing in it, even though there's not that many people that are following me here at the moment. Huge believer in it. But when you are on short form platforms, like entertainment has to be the number one thing. And now, as you can see, as we're getting back to sort of these more entertainment style breakdowns, you can see 77,000, 29,000, 101,000, 11,000 this week. And then we just posted a few of these this morning. So we'll see how we do there. But entertainment is the number one thing that you have to keep in mind when you're creating content. And I actually think that part of it is kind of this balance between, in this case, balancing quality and quantity to a degree. And the reason I say that is because what might be really entertaining, you can only do so much of, right? Like if I can only make, for me personally, I can only make 5 to 7 videos a week that are really high quality and entertaining, right? So the problem with that is that's like a max week by week. So if I do that over and over and over again, I sort of end up burning myself out. That's when I'll throw in like one of these Yap posts, which I know are probably not going to do numbers, but the people who come back and like watch me, from a loyalty perspective, like on a day-to-day basis, like they're still getting value out of it. So it's really having that nice balance of the two. But yeah, as I have here, balance quality and quantity. I think you have to balance the two. The biggest thing that you can do to ruin your chances of growing as a small creator on social media is obviously stopping. And most of that comes from people just losing passion because it's becomes a negative feedback loop in your head. Imagine you spend like 60 minutes, you spend all this time making this one video for it to just completely flop. Like it's psychologically like not good for your head. Like that's why it's so much easier now for me to create again now that things are doing well, because it's like, oh cool, like leads are coming in the door, views are up, right? So it's really having the social barometer of understanding, hey, I need to be entertaining people, but I also need to be doing something that I like at the end of the day. And nobody likes to say, but it's a balance of the two. There's not like a silver bullet through that. And so really pleased with sort of the pivot that has happened here as of late. You can even see dating back maybe 2 weeks now, we had 11,000, 33,000, 34,000, and some of these are continuing to gain views, 10,000, 29,000. As you can see here, this Yap video, substantially less. Oops, I clicked on my For You page. And then, oops, all over the place. But yeah, really, really excited about that. In terms of, I want to get to a little bit of like the engagement metrics that have been working the best for me. So if we take a look at this video here that got 101,000 views so far on the first 48 hours. I just posted this again 2 days ago. We're going to go view the insights for this guy. I'm going to imagine they're pretty darn good. Okay, so we ended up having, 99 reshares. The big one, or reposts, the big one is shares, 4.8K, right? I think shares are the number one way of essentially boosting your posts in Meta's algorithm today. And the reason I say that is because these platforms are trying to keep people on it longer, and they've realized that friends' recommendations. So when a friend recommends a piece of content for you, I think you're like 2 to 3 times more likely to actually watch it through. There's no data behind that either. So I'm like taking that completely off the top of my head. That's just me. When a friend sends me something, I'm most likely to really stop, watch it, and kind of take everything in that's going on there. So I think the key metrics for growth right now for me on Instagram are, number one is shares. And there's a couple of different ways that I like to work it in. I think the first is actually having a CTA at the end of your post. A lot of people think you have to sort of fugazi your way to getting people to do what you want. It's not true at all. You just simply make the ask like, hey, this was interesting, share it with a friend, or share with a friend that needs to see this. So the first one is simply just like the share side of things. Number two, the more unbiased your opinion is, the more I notice to get shared. For example, if we talk about a new sports facility that just got funded, or a new partnership, right? And we see that new partnership had like $27 million in funding behind it. When I talk about the $27 million part, we see that shares go up, or at least I see that shares go through the roof, because people are trying to share real, tangible information with one another. It's when we get off on tangents, or I get off on tangents, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be good or bad for the world, blah, 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 blah. Like, the more you strain away from the facts, the less people are likely to share something. So that's just a really, good insight, I think, for you to keep in mind. And finally, and this is a little bit more of a challenging one, I think, to find in the Edits app, but Thumbstop. Thumbstop is huge. In fact, I actually don't see it in the app, so I'm just going to go back to Instagram and I'll show you guys here real quick. But Thumbstop is a huge part of getting people to continue to watch your content. So if we take a look at this post here, so we have, watch time 17 days. That's wild. 17 days. That's a lot of time spent watching this. The big one, keep going, retention, huge, right? So like you could see that this reel's skip rate is 35%. My typical's, just a second off, honestly. So the skip rate's about the same, but that average watch time is about 18 seconds. That's huge. That's really long for a video, which is great. And now if we go to a video that maybe has, 4,000 views, let's take a look at the watch time on this guy. I bet you it's not going to be very good. Wow. Actually, the average watch time, 16 seconds. So even on this live with you guys going through this content now, we can clearly see that shares, right? Only 17 shares versus the other one that had, what did this one have? 17 shares versus 4,800. Yeah. So there's the sauce, guys. If you can be entertaining on short form platforms and you can get people to share your content, that seems to be the recipe for success right now for me anyways. Now, one of the other questions I always get is like, what is, how do I come up with these ideas? I think that's a big one. First and foremost, real world experience, right? I usually take whatever a topic is that I'm going to address and throw my own personal spin on it. So I'll say, like, if we're dealing with this at work or in my agency, I'll say, hey, like, I did this and this happened, or when we were in this situation, I saw this, and kind of, equate, again, my personal experience to the broader topic here. But in terms of, I used the word earlier, barometer, but in terms of your idea barometer, I would honestly use not your For You page, right? It's very important. Do not use your For You page, like the search one down here that gives you a bunch of stuff that you like to look at. I think it's just a bunch of junk at the end of the day. The biggest one for me is actually your home feed. So you can see here how I got, wait, what is this video about? How I got rid of my accent. Interesting. But look, 3,500 shares. Next one. 1,400 shares. Next one. This is an ad, so we'll skip that. Next one, another ad. This one's interesting. So this is a guy I follow. Shout out Duncan. But yeah, nothing crazy here. SportsCenter, I don't follow at all. 70,000 shares though. So you'll start to see like ideas start coming up. This was posted 7 minutes ago. So your home feed's kind of a combination of people you're following, but also content that Instagram still thinks is relatively in your niche from what you're posting. Like this is an interesting one. Promenade Mall in the Warner Center. Like this guy made this video back 18 hours ago, already at 829 views. I would take something like this and potentially make a video on it because it's talking about the NFL's new home base or whatever. This is proven within the first 24 hours to be doing really, really well. I can put my own original spin on it, and that's probably something I'm going to make a video on. So I'm actually going to save this post. I'm going to save this post here, and yeah, that's it. So now, like, I'll actually take you through the full process of this. So, like, what I'll typically do is quite literally just screenshot it. Boom. And then I already have an agent set up in ChatGPT. Shout out to the 2 people watching the live. You guys are getting the sauce here this morning, which is great. If it can help you, again, make sure to hopefully like this video. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. So I'm gonna go over. I actually have like I said, I have an agent here, a GPT. It's called ScriptWriter. ScriptWriter is basically I uploaded a bunch of scripts of my most viral videos in the past, and then it has access to like my meeting notes during the week, and then it basically puts the two together. We can get into the prompt a little bit later, but I'm going to put that screenshot in here, and we're going to have it make a script for us in our own unique style. All right, so I'm going to copy that. Sorry guys, I'm fat thumbing it here. All right, so boom, there it is. I'm going to stick it in chat. I'm just going to say, hey, please create. And by the way, while I'm doing this, make sure if you guys have any questions, just to put it in the live chat here. Happy to answer. Please create a script for me in my own style with a unique title. So there it is. I am just going to take this from AI and roll. Why? So the Rams are replacing a mall with a city. That's really interesting, and really, really cool. So that there's my script. Like I'm gonna go make this video, and then hopefully in the future we can actually point to this and talk about how it did. But that is my home feed as, again, a social barometer, or really as my home feed is kind of the North Star for what I'm trying to put together. Again, it works so well for me, and mostly how I'm coming up with all my ideas, except for the times when I'm just like, again, walking down the street here. So the next thing I want to cover too, while I got you guys, is live as the most meaningful follow-up. I think this is kind of an obvious one, but whenever you have like a super viral video, I think there's always this pressure on a lot of people to just keep repeating with that same format over and over and over again. But you have to understand that when you have a viral video, and I can look at this video here again for reference here. So let's go to insights. New followers. You can actually see now on your statistics how many new followers you got from a post. So I got 301 follows from this post up here. So you have 301 new people coming through the door for the first time. They have no idea who you are. They don't know what your business is, if you even have one. They don't know really what your values are. So it's like a good opportunity to sort of just, again, post something that's a little bit more organic, or in this case, a couple days a week, having a channel or some form of ability to go live, whether it's on Instagram. I personally just believe that YouTube Live is the best thing for me, to despite the fact two people are watching this. It's also very early, right? So I think YouTube Live is a great way of sort of following up bigger high level moments. Because if we do the math at the end of the day, especially if you have a business that's somewhat higher ticket or a business that even is reoccurring, right? If you own like a taco shop or a taco truck or something like that, if that person keeps coming back to your business, like the LTV, their value adds up significantly, right? So the number one thing I like to do is after a viral piece of content like this, like we got 100,000 again views on this post right here, 300 new follows. What I'll basically do is have a story that basically gives a rundown of kind of what happened there. So I'm going to show you exactly what I posted there as the follow up. There was the follow up, right? I said, hey guys, thanks for 46,000 followers. This was me on a run, so I just posted it after that, and that's kind of cool because again, it kind of tells people I'm a human, and then it's like, hey, I'm going to go live on YouTube this weekend, so make sure to check in with me there. So I think live as the most meaningful follow up is going to continue to do really, really well. And I think by far, it's probably an early mistake that a lot of people get. Going live with basically nothing is really difficult. So if you don't have like a previous audience of distribution, it is incredibly hard to go live and expect anyone to care about your content. So again, focus on top of funnel first, focus on short form, trying to drive viewers, and then I think you can go live. And then I think you can have sort of those longer form pieces of content, or at least that's what's working really well for me. And again, the other thing that I'll reiterate there is as we think about the marketing funnel and like how do we get more people to watch our content at the end of the day. None of it matters if you guys stop making content. And I think there are just certain formats that burn people out, right? If you are doing a format that inherently requires, no, I'm not kidding. I think if it requires more than 20 minutes of editing a post, you have a really high shot of burning yourself out if that content isn't doing well. I'll give you a great example of this. So these posts right here, my green screen posts that like go crazy, put up numbers, those take me about 20 to 30 minutes to edit every single day. Now I'll get to what I'm doing to change that here in a second with batch creation and scheduling. But for the time being, that's what it takes me. If those videos weren't performing well, like it's a negative feedback loop. Like we're human beings at the end of the day. We all have behavior that dictates the way that we feel, the way that we act. And so we have to keep that in mind. Like if I give you a piece of chocolate every single time you post on Instagram, which is something you could probably do to yourself to create a positive feedback loop, despite how many views you get, you're probably going to continue to post, right? It's a great way of training yourself to actually do those sorts of things, is like make an edit and then do something fun, right? But the problem is, for me, I was making all these like walking yap videos, and they just weren't doing very well. Like 4,000 or 5,000 views a post, which is just annoying because I was used to getting hundreds of thousands on some of these green screen posts. And so I literally just stopped posting for like a couple weeks, and then I realized like, okay, dude, you're being stupid. Like just go back to what was working, right? And so for those of you that are back or watching this live, like it's really me transitioning back to like these green screen videos. And again, if you're joining live and want to go see kind of the start of the video of me walking through this, it'll be live here in a second after I finish up. But the thing is, there are just formats that burn people out. You got to find the ones that those are for you. And if you are not performing well with that format, just change the format, right? Just change the format. Find a way to get to a format that is performing well, because that's going to give you a positive feedback loop that you need to continue to put up numbers, to continue to do great things. Give yourself a chance at being successful. Other thing I want to talk about, batch creation and scheduling. This is huge. Let's go to one of the top creators on Instagram right now. And you guys have probably seen this guy, Atlas Berry, I believe is his name, or at least that's his handle. Atlas is crushing it. I mean, you've probably seen this guy just everywhere. One, it's because of his niche. Like the guy's talking about, frontier, culture, tech, power. That's like his thing. And now you have so many other creators, by the way, that have like the same bio. And it's just funny. Like there's a lot of people that are trying to rip him, but he just does a tremendous job of getting all these pieces of information up front. But I want you to notice something about Atlas. See how he's wearing the same shirt in like these 4 posts here? And then if we go down, same shirt in these 3 posts here. Oh, actually these 4. And then you go down a little further. He's got the same post here. Okay, this was kind of like a one-off, it looks like, but same thing. This dude is definitely batching stuff. Like he is 100% using AI, going out there on the internet, finding these stories, and then putting downloads together on them, and then scheduling them. It's genius. It's honestly great. It's like you have a Sunday, you have 3-4 hours. Most of us making content are entrepreneurs. Like most of us are like we have lives that don't necessarily pay for content creation yet. It's another story. We'll get there in a second. But most of us don't, right? So we have to find a way to get a lot of ideas done really quickly. Like I said, whether it's me even sitting in my home feed here and finding 4 to 5 ideas that I really like, getting scripts made for them, and then posting them. I think, batch creation and scheduling is the next level of actually creating a system that is sustainable. Because then what you can do, if you have the ability to successfully batch make 3 to 5 posts and they perform well, how easy is it going to be to hand that off to the next person or an intern, right? Like you have the processes made. A lot of people just don't have processes around their content, which is why they burn out, which is why they're never really successful, or it's why they just have to copy everything they see off the internet. I see people right now that are just spending their entire time copying Atlas, like almost word for word in all his content. I'm not going to call those people out, but you can totally tell who they are, right? And your audience can too. It's kind of goofy, but that's the number one thing. So if you can batch your creation and scheduling as a small content creator, do it. Especially if you're a guy that's just like, I don't want to work on the weekends, right? Or I don't want to think about it for these days. Or I just need to be off my phone, which is a very healthy thing for everyone. Batch creation and scheduling is one of the best things that you can do. I will say here that, I am beginning to batch create more. You can see these 2 videos here. I got the same hat, just threw my hat on backwards for one, and same here. The rest I'm not doing, which is good and also bad at the same time because it's like I could just be so much more efficient. So that is my take on scheduling and batch creation. You should just be doing it. If you can't do it, then you don't have a repeatable process, and that's your constraint, and you need to figure that out. The last thing is, I've already said it a few times, but YouTube is the true frontier, I think, for small creators. The reason I'll say that is because I think it's easier now than ever for small creators to actually find new audiences out on the YouTube algorithm. I actually forget if YouTube is still like predominantly search based or interest based. I like everything else. I bet it's going to interest based content, which is totally different because search is like I look up like HVAC businesses in Las Vegas and I get HVAC businesses in Las Vegas instead of like HVAC businesses in Las Vegas, and then I get the top HVAC creators around the country, right? So I'm not quite sure what those are right now or what their algorithm looks like. But YouTube is the new frontier because I think when you are driving this organic and social traffic from short form platforms, specifically like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, maybe, you have to find a way to like do this. Even to the one person that's like still watching this, like, thank you, whoever you are. I appreciate the like or whoever put that like on it. If it was you, thanks. But that's huge. Like the fact that we could spend this time together, you can connect further with me on whatever it is that you have. We can answer questions. By the way, put a question in if you want to answer anything, because I'm about to wrap up. But that's huge. You got to give people a way to connect with you aside from 30 seconds of just like dopamine blitz. But that's it. That's how I'm gaining 498 followers a week at the moment. We'll see if that number continues to go up or down depending on how I'm doing. But yeah, glad we could spit some game here. Again, if this video helped you out, make sure to like and subscribe, share with a friend that needs to see it. And we'll be back live again. I put all of my live chats when I'm going to go live on Instagram in my channel section, and it's completely free. Just go on Instagram. It's called the Rainmaker Community. Rainmaker, not in the sense of just like making enormous amounts of money. I thought about it the other day. I was like, maybe I renamed this thing the wrong thing, because like I really don't want to be just another guy on the internet that's just like, here's another place where you can just make a bunch of money. No, like Rainmakers, they make the rain fall for everyone. They lift the tide, right? So that's where the name came from. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. That is how we are gaining followers. If you just joined and want to see it, I'm about to end the stream here, and then you can watch the rest of it. But until then, peace and love, guys. See you next time. Thank you.